Good morning. So, in the previous session, we discussed extensively about Hyperion planning architecture, concepts. Today, I'm going to show you how to create Hyperion planning sample application. In fact, how to initialize sample application. When you install Hyperion planning comes along with sample application, which got inbuilt dimension, members, uh, data form, your task list, variables, everything. So this sample application could be a right choice or could be right start for a newbies, beginners to start playing around with the application. In today's session, I'm going to show you the latest release of Hyperion planning called Hyperion 11.1.2.3, which is called PS3. The little change in look and feel. Uh, so we'll go step by step. These are the following steps we are going to follow. The list of steps. I'll show you all the steps one by one. Okay. Uh, Today I'm going to use one of my enterprise server. So we'll log into the remote server and do all the activities. Although you can access your server, it is hosted. So step first, as we did in our previous classes during application creation, I'll create new schema. For each new application, it is suggested to create new schema. Okay. So we'll create new schema. I'm using Oracle database. So I'll just log into my Oracle database and create new schema. Well, my session got expired. I already created one user, so just log into Oracle database and create new user. I'll give the name of the application. Database name and application name is same. I call this create user samp app, sample application. So I create a new user. Now I'm going to grant privileges to the user. I'm going to give a DBA create session and connect. Although DBA access rights are not required, you need an access right like create table, create views, alter table. But I'm going to use the DBA access right because I need to demonstrate you some of the DBA capabilities which require me to log in as a DBA to sample app. Right, so database connection got created. Next step, we log into planning application, log into workspace, and under this we create database connection. There are two database connection we needed. As we discussed previously, we create RDBC database connection where your planning is going to store the metadata and supporting details, and then we connect to Essbase. So this is a URL you require to connect to your workspace. You see, compared to previous release where you use 28080 to connect to your shared service, 19,000 has been replaced with 28080. This port, your workspace gets started. So you pass username and password as your credential. It will take you to the interface, and under administration you see there's an option called planning administration. The later release of planning is deployed on ADF. There are two modes of planning. The one which we see in the previous session, it was non-ADF mode called application development framework, and the one which we see now, the look and feel in the interface is designed completely on ADF. So the processor remains same, only little change in look and feel, right? So we follow this step. I'll create data source, click on data source and create new data source. Click on this plus, and you got two options. One for creating data source for Oracle where your planning metadata and supporting details are going to rest, and your Essbase data source. So my server is running on a separate computer. Logically, I've got a virtual machine where my server is running. So it's not local host. I'll pass up IP address. In my example, my database server and planning server both are running in one computer, one server, but it is unlikely in real production world your database and your planning application may be running a different server for scalability. So mine is a QA environment, therefore uh, it is running on same system. You pass your credential, give a data source name. I will give a data source name called sample database. Start with sample so that we can easily recognize database name, application name, and connection. And validate. Oh, sorry, I have supposed to pass the username, the one which you just now created. It's a sample app. So I pass a username called sample app and click on validate. My connection got successful with database, and then we connect to your Essbase. So my Essbase server is also running the same system. It may possible your planning in Essbase server running in a disparate server in distributed environment. So I pass on credential and validate. So my database connection with Essbase and relation database both got created. Save. And you see each application is mapped with a database, right? Data source mapped with the application. Whereas my data source called SampleDB is not mapped with any application as of now. So I go to manage application and I click on create new application, click on this plus, and there's only one database connection available as of now. So in a drop down we see only one database connection. Give a name of application. I would give a name called sample app2. I already create sample application 1. And application type, you see something new over here. You have got application called financial planning, public sector planning. These are two new applications introduced in a later release. The one VM which I given to you, you may not find them over there, but there are two new pre-built application template are available. So when you use a specific application template, correspondingly other options like your dimension, your member, all got set. In our case, we are using sample. The moment you choose sample, the other option called gray out. Do you see that? When I say general, the options are available, but when you choose sample, the other option called gray out. What does it mean? It says while you create sample, it takes a predefined calendar, currency, and plan type. Choose a sample, and here you specify in under which folder you want your application to be created. These drop downs are coming from your it is coming from a shared service. Maybe I could show you here. Oh, I cannot have two instances anyway. Let me try to open from my host machine. So the list of folders are just a logical of your application, which is your job for application administration. So I'm going to connect to my server, and this time I'll open navigate my shared service, and you check my browser is compatible or not. The compatible browser is 9.0 onwards. So navigate your shared service. Shared service console you see in the navigation, and I open it, and you see the list of folders I shown you there is basically application group. Let me try to show you both together. List of folders which you see over here, they are basically coming from a shared service. See, FDM, Essbase. So once your application get created, you can see the application under the given folder. Right? I would use the default application group for my application creation. Right now this folder is empty, but once we create application, you can see our application under that folder. Right? Okay. So now click on sample application, default application group, and that's it. Click finish. Next. This is a summary of your application. We'll take a snapshot of this. Once your application got created, we can compare all the properties. Now, as I said, sample application is pre-built. which has got everything: predefined plan type, currencies, multi-currency, and other properties as well. Okay, there's plan type ASO. Another interesting thing, in sample application, my plan type is ASO, database type is ASO. So the area which we are going to pay attention over here, my application name is sample, application type is sample. It's a 12-month rolling, as we did in a previous session. One sample application is 12 months. It's going to be 12 months. So year, quarter, and month. The start month would be January, and distribution would be weekly distribution. What I do first, I initiate, click on finish, and then we initiate the application, and then we discuss about this. I click, everything is done, and click on create. Right, a create application takes little time. It will initialize all the objects, and the application got created. So while we were talking about this, so application type is sample, 12 months. So my time period would be year, quarter, month, year, quarter, and month, right? Fiscal year, starting year would be January. So when you say QTD, March, your system will understand as January to March when you do dynamic time series. Weekly distribution, fiscal year, start year is, so I have one dimension called year, which has got a member called FI11, FI12. You see over here called fiscal, first fiscal years 2011, and number of fiscal years are 4. So your year dimension would be something like this: FI11, FI12, FI13, like this. We have a multi-currency application, yes. So, and you have got a default currency as USD. So you have a 2-dimension get created called HSP rate, and you have another dimension called currency, because I've chosen as multi-currency. I mean, it's a default selection for your sample application. And the plan type or database name, Essbase database name, is console. Right? Let's go back and check. Applicant got created successfully. Once your applicant got created successfully, you can log off and log into your planning console, which is 8300. Sample application. 2, log into your Essbase admin client. You could have done from there as well. I wanted to give you more options. And under administration, you have got option initialize. Now remember, you can do it only once. You cannot have multiple sample application. Though you can do it from backend, this is possible. You can create multiple sample application using LCM, but through initialization process, you can do only once. When you click on sample, what is happening? The batch scripts run behind the screen, which create all planning application artifacts. So initialization, what it does, it create planning artifacts, application, which consist of all planning objects like your dimension, your members, hierarchy, data forms, variables, menus, everything get created. Data form, everything, and variables. You see my applicant got created successfully. Initialize. Once it's initialized, you can quickly check. You got set of data forms automatically, though we have not discussed data forms so far. We talk about them. You got predefined dimensions, predefined dimension under account dimension. It's a sample application, it's very close to real time. You can browse through this and understand how real-time application look like. Account, dimension, entity, currencies, everything is pre-built available with you. Okay. So next step, mandatory, log into workspace. Third step which you follow, create application as sample. Fourth step, we log into planning admin client. This is a legacy client which was 8300 port, and then initialize the sample application. Right now, as we discussed in the architecture, every time you create planning application write metadata into RDBMS. Then in turn, when you refresh it, it writes into your in your Essbase server. So if you go to your RDBMS and check, you can see there are some set of tables are created. I would connect to my user called sample app, and samp app password or my connection string. Connected, and then I can see the list of tables which got created. There are 83 tables got created which store your planning application artifacts. See, 135 tables. I'm sorry, I was under impression for my previous release. The 135 tables got created, couple of new tables. Previous release has got 83 tables. The new release has got 135 tables. So they got created with predefined tables, and they got its own metadata. For example, you query, it may not be stored in the way that you can directly understand. For example, I like to query currencies. How many currencies are there? So all these tables start with HSP. Select star from you got some set of record. There are 172 rows, isn't it? But all are stored in binary format, or the numbers with some meaningful, reporting currency, yes and no, the currency name, thousand separator, and all. This is how eventually planning writes into your RDBMS. But if you go back and check your database, your Essbase server, next step, you log into your Essbase server. I started my Essbase server, and I refresh the list of application. You see a new application got created. Name is sample app. Sample application got created, and you see over here you got no database. Why? There's no database because so far we have not refreshed our application. So this is required. Metadata exists in RDBMS. This is required to be refreshed, and then it is available in Essbase. So I go to my planning interface, and under manage application, under application, refresh. The first time you do a create database, and next time onwards you do refresh. Okay. So I create database, check database name, and click on create. Your application got created and the database got refreshed. So once it got refreshed, you go back to your Essbase, refresh your database list, and here you see you got a readily available application. Now compare with your snapshot we have taken. Okay, so the name of my database is console. You see, name of standard database is console, right? Application name is sample2. Application name is sample2. Sample2. Database name is data source name, sample database. Database name is console. It's a multi-currency, therefore there are two dimension appear automatically the moment you choose multi-currency, yes, and default currency USD. I got members. These are default currency chosen. Okay, so primarily there are three members under HSP rate. Input values. It's same example we tried yesterday. You want to convert 100 USD to INR. So what it consists of: input value, which is 100, right? That's input value. Input currency. Input currency is your INR. I assume my base currency is INR, then input currency would be USD. Okay, and exchange rates. Exchange rate, there are for each currency there will be one exchange rate. So you see there are multiple values. It is HSP rate for the respective currency name to be supported. And in addition to this, you got another dimension called currency dimension. We got all the currencies. Default currency would be your USD, the one you have chosen. So your application got created, right? You can browse through your application for, as we proceed later, I'll talk about different topics, creating dimension, creating members, data form and everything. You would refer the sample application for your practice purpose. You see you got data forms where you're going to navigate your data. You got predefined dimensions. You got variables. You got menus, smart list, everything we are going to learn next. In the subsequent session, you map with this. The last step, what do you do? You can load data into your application. This is optional, though you can do it later as well. Once your application is ready, final step, load data. So data is available under, there's a folder structure. You can see sample data under user, project, EPMA1, server, Aspace application, sample application console. Data loading process is exactly same what we did for Aspace data loading. So you can go directly to your server and under user project, Aspace server, under Aspace server, application, Aspace server. Well, let me check. Application, sample application 2. Under console, you got data. Let me quick check. Sample application under console. Well, it seems I do not have data value. So anyway, so what you require eventually, I'll give you a data file separately. Ultimately, you right click on your Aspace cube and load data. That's a final step, because right now we don't have data in our application. That's a final step. You right click and load data typically the way we did in a previous session. So this is how your sample application is ready. Now all the further example you do it in the sample application. As we discuss the architecture, any modification you do in your planning application, the modification first goes to RDBMS and then in turn goes to your, you add some member. First it goes to your RDBMS and subsequently it goes to your Sbase. So I would demonstrate this once again. For example, I like to modify my entity dimension. I go to my entity dimension under administration, manage application, dimension, and I choose entity dimension and I add another geographical entity. There are two geographical entity called total geography, and they call E01, E02 like this. Under Asia Pacific, I got these legal entities, right? There's no new entity. I would add another entity, the sibling of it, E04609 for India. So I add a sibling and keep all the property as default as of now, E05609, and this entity is the alias I gave for India, right? Any modification you do, as I said, first it's saved in your RDBMS. So I'm not sure how do I show you this one. The new element which we added, you can see under your RDBMS, because the information is not the way data stored in RDBMS not very well documented. So we can see HSP entity, which column store we have got alias name, employee ID, user ID. So I wanted to show you, I don't know which column does contain the new member, but post running, if you run the number of records before running the member and after running the member, you find there's one more record is being added. So before adding member, if you run this HSP entity, right now the number of members are 230. When I add a new member over here, it should increase by 1. As I add India, I would add another member. We got all the countries. I add another sibling called Pakistan. E under Asia, E04 and 610. Save it. Once you save and I rerun this and check number of records, it is 131. You see, it means some entry your system make, but what exactly it does, it is not very well documented. We do not know how exactly it happened. Right? Some entries are there in numbers, but the new member is not available in your S-base. So India and Pakistan, there are two members in my entity dimension. When you look at your outline, you don't find them under your entity. E06 is not exist. The two new member which we added just now, see, in fact to E06 04 under Asia Pacific, I don't have E08 up to E08 we have. We don't have E09 and 10 for India and Pakistan. It is not there because your planning has returned the metadata into RDBMS. In order to get the data into S-base, we need to push down or refresh our application. Go to application, refresh. Make sure you refresh this time. And first attempt you create and second attempt onwards you refresh. Basically it's an incremental update. When you refresh this, finish, and you see you got two new members. I open an outline once again under entity, total geography, under Asia Pacific, you see you got 9 and 10, right? India and Pakistan, isn't it? This shows the complete S-base architecture, how S-base communicate the metadata to two different data sources, to RDBMS and to S-base.